Hey guys, this is Moody. I am just continuing on with the fifth message that I started with marriage and investment. So, with marriage and investment, as I was talking about before, it's something that you have to put a lot of time into it. It's not something that in the beginning you go all crazy about it right before you get married, and you put all your work into it. After you get married, you don't put any work into it. It's something that you always have to put investment into. Another thing that I didn't get to go on in the first half of this message was about us humans and us being about me. Us, me. It's something that we're known to do. It's something that we grow more and more to do. If you want to be rich, you could really be rich by going inventing something that can make someone more lazy or more comfortable and have them, do something that's, more about me, just something that will make something easier, better for them. It's just something that we're so known about. I see it on the highway. I'll see highway construction where it'll say clear at the beginning that this highway is merging into one and to get over to the lane. But then you have people who will speed up and cut someone and up in front to get ahead. But the thing is everyone does that, and before you know it, you have like a bigger traffic jam because everyone's cutting everyone. Everyone's all about me, and I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get past these cars. And if we just worked together, if we weren't just so selfish and thought about the things we do more, things would go a little more smoothly. But and that is actually a message I'm going to talk about later, about the subject about us and just how we kind of live for ourselves. Now with marriage, when you go and marry someone, I'll have to pause this. My daughter is waking up. Okay, so I might just have to talk a little lower. I went to go check on my kids, and they seem to be okay. But when you go to marry someone, you marry them because you want to give them your love for the rest of your life. It's something that just like we serve God and we serve Christ. You love your wife just as He loves us, and it talks about in the Bible. It talks about wives submitting to their husbands. It talks about husbands loving your wife as Christ loved you. And you see later in marriages and things where everyone becomes more about me. Oh, you know what? I'm going to marry this person so they can make me happy the rest of my life. And if you marry someone because of that, then you're definitely going to struggle in your marriage, because you don't marry someone to make you happy the rest of your life. I mean, you can hope that they love you and will love to make you happy, but at the same time, you marry someone because you would love to give them happiness the rest of their life. And and when you have more of that focus of mindset, when you have more of that focus of doing what God calls you to do, and you're loving your wife the way He loved you, I mean, He's forgiven us. He sacrificed Himself for us. There's so much love for us that when you think about loving your wife as He loved you, it's nothing selfish. It's all about your wife. And we've become more in this time era years, we've become more about everyone marrying someone to make them happy, like us happy, instead of marrying that person to make them happy. And if you marry someone because you want them to do something for you the rest of your life, well, guess what? They're going to let you down, And if you marry someone because you want them to make you happy, you're going to find moments where they don't make you happy. And that's what happens in a lot of marriages. In marriages, you find someone who's pissed you off enough times to where you don't want to be happy, or you don't want to be with him because he's not making you happy anymore. And when you have that mindset, it's just kind of like going to church. You can go to a church and check it out and have a couple messages. And I know someone who, once he heard about tithing, he doesn't go anymore because he didn't like that message, because he's thinking about himself. He didn't even think about the big picture. I can tell you, as a witness of my church, that my church has helped me through my struggles, that they gave us $500 in our wedding, and there's just so many things that they've done, so much support. And I see them go to Honduras where they go and help build buildings, go build a school, go build a church. There's just so many things that they do for their people, for their community, for a whole different country, just so much different stuff where I see the bigger picture, and I see what my church does. I see how they help people believe in Christ and follow Christ and things like that. And the more people that come, the more that we all tie together, the more the bigger things that the church can go do. Church can reach out there more and do activities where they get involved with the city more. They do activities where they do more out there, and instead of just working in a church, they're working outside of church too. And that kind of stuff and helping people out and doing those things, they cost money. And I realize when we tithe, it's something bigger than us. And that buddy of mine, he stopped coming after he heard about it. And he's missing the bigger picture. Okay. And with marriage, if you have that mindset of me, I want that person to make me happy. Well, guess what? There's going to be moments where they're not going to make you happy, and you're going to miss the bigger picture of how happy you can be, though, in other times. Because a marriage has bad times. It has its hard times. But guess what? When you work on it, and when you work on it, and things are hard, but then they get good. It's worth it. You see the bigger picture. You see in your marriage, that when you work through things, you see the bigger picture of, hey, you know what, we're happy right now. We're at a good spot right now. I'm glad I didn't give up on my marriage. I'm glad that we thought about each other more, and that we worked through this because we see the bigger picture, and that it's worth it. And water, it's amazing. And it's just really about that. I would just suggest that when you go to marry someone, if you're not married yet, and you find someone you love, marry them not because you want them to make you happy the rest of your life, but marry them because you love them so much that you would love to give them everything in their life. Maybe the person you love and are with has gone through trials or has been hurt. You want to marry them to show them that they'll never be hurt again. You want to marry them to give them that comfort. And when you can marry someone to want to give them stuff, it's just, I think it's a better happiness. It's a great happiness. My wife, I think there's just a lot of things where I feel like I help the situation. When things get really hard, and she gets kind of a little stressed, she trusts me, and to have that situation where when things get hard, you have one who gets kind of like, kind of gets like, oh, I don't know how to deal with this. And then I come in and I'm like, okay, trust in me. It's like it's kind of like a earthquake kind of shaking, and it just all settles down, and it's just peaceful, and I feel like my wife and I, it's just, we work through things together, and I have things I'm sensitive with my family and my grandparents, and my wife, she's there, she understands it. And there's just so many things, in a marriage that are so beautiful, and it's just something that you always have to that's something that you always have to value and appreciate, and that's another thing too, is never stop appreciating who you're with. You might have temptations come your way, you might have things come your way, but there's nothing like if you have someone that gave you your kids and went through so much to give you your family, that's amazing stuff right there, and you really gotta appreciate it. And I love the life I live. Well, I'm coming short on time, and my basic points on this message is just, when it comes to a marriage, know that to stay strong in a marriage, You have to know that we marry someone to give them happiness. And of course, you hope that you get a return. I mean, things like that. But focus more on just remembering why you married each other, and always, always try to go back to the beginning, kind of relive the beginning of your relationship. That spark that you had in the beginning, it should never really cower down. If you got to respark it, man, respark it, start that match again, because marriage is something that is something that you continue doing. It's something that's a full investment, and and anything that you do a full investment on, you're always gonna get a good return, and a good return is, think of investment. Thank you guys, and I hope that this message did something good, and I hope that you like all the ones I do. Please follow me on YouTube and share these through Facebook. Thank you.